because, the narrative is it's the heart of the SAR. It's considered by law enforcement, everybody, this is the most valuable part of the SAR. A lot of the check boxes that we commiserate over in the data fields, yes, those are the ones that auditors like to go through because there's specific rules on how it has to be completed. So a lot of times, because that's where your auditors are focused or your examiners are focused on whether or not you followed all the rules, that's where we spend most of our time thinking is, okay, did we check all the right boxes or did we fill this out 100% correctly? But when you flip to what law enforcement, their perspective, and what these SARs are really intended to be for, they find the most value in the narrative. They don't typically go filtering through all the check boxes and pull it together, going in order, like page order, like we sometimes an auditor might. They start at the narrative. And so really having a narrative that lays out the who, what, where, when, and why, and how helps law enforcement understand what's really going on. In fact, maybe you have had conversations with either FBI agents or prosecutors or law enforcement that gets involved in one of your SARs. What I have understood from talking with them, and actually, my previous experience, my first job out of law school, I was a prosecutor for a little, back when I was a baby attorney. But a lot of times they get the SARs, and there are people reading these, and sometimes they get filtered through varying levels of the hierarchy. They don't understand our industry as well as we might hope. And I can't tell you how many times there have been SARs that have been looked over or passed over because the law enforcement agent who actually receives it doesn't fully appreciate or understand what's going on. Because we write things, we know too much. We are, banking professionals, and so we write things out because we logically, if you're telling me about it, I might think, oh yeah, obviously that's a kiting scheme, or obviously this is what's going on. But law enforcement, they're coming from a different paradigm altogether. And while they may be looking at it, they might not be putting together all the pieces like you are. So, high level, I would say really be clear on what your suspicions are. Don't feel like you need to be light-handed or you don't want to be too accusatory, because I have seen narratives that really don't make it. You can finish reading it and not really appreciate what exactly the BSA officer who wrote it, what exactly they suspected. It's a list of facts, it's a list of things that were going on, and this was a required SAR. But when you read through it, it's not crystal clear what exactly the suspicions were. And that's really what these best practices that we're going to go through, that's really what it's trying to resolve.